Well, a very good evening to you and many thanks for tuning in EBN TV. Tonight, welcome to the Prime Edition, EBN Prime Edition. My name is Sami Adika. I do hope you had a lovely day from wherever you're watching tonight's bulletin. Well, starting us off with matters digital identification is that the government is set to spend 1 billion Kenya shillings in printing the new third generation digital identification cards set to begin on 29th of September this year. The Maisha number identification card will ease identification of Kenyans and also ensure they access government services as required. Speaking during Maisha number awareness drive, Immigration PS Julius Bitok assured Kenyans that their details will be much safer once the digital identification cards are rolled out.
National digital identity. The government will guarantee Kenyan people of the security of the documents, because we are going to have a system which is foolproof, that's going to ensure that whatever document you have is authentic, and that whatever you want to transact with, whatever you want to go to the hospital with it, every institution, whether it is banks, whether it's hospitals, whether it's educational institutions, you have a document that is able to reflect who you are and is also clear and is also accurate in as far as identity is concerned.
One of the challenges we have generally in this country is trust, and making sure that Kenyans are comfortable, they understand, they are aware of the implications and the opportunities of becoming digital citizens is extremely important. Otherwise, we can design a system that Kenyans will not sign up to.
Well, and Interior CS Kithure Kindiki has condemned the attacks and killings in the coastal region, noting that the government will deploy enough special forces in Tana River and Lamu counties to fully combat the unrests being witnessed. Well, Kindiki also noted that the officers will be fully equipped to apprehend the militants. While calling on the county residents to rely on security personnel, Kindiki also issued a stern warning to leaders inciting violence along the county borders.
Hapa vile tuko na changamoto za kiusalama ambazo lazima tuendelee kuimarisha. Nimesikia tunahitaji police stations na magari ya maafisa wetu wa usalama na maafisa wetu wa utawala. Nataka niwahakikishie kwamba tutapeana magari kwa police stations na officers wetu wa utawala ambao hawana magari. Na niseme katika vile hiyo juhudi tutaongeza idadi ya maofisa wetu wa vikosi vya usalama maalum ambavyo ni vikosi ambavyo vinatusaidia katika kupigana na magaidi ambao wanaendelea kutusumbua wakiwa wametoka katika nchi jirani. Kwa hivyo katika hii sub-county yetu na county ya Tana River tutaweka vikosi maalum vya wale ambaye ni askari wetu speciali ambao wamefanyiwa mafunzo maalum ya kupambana na magaidi sugu na wale ambao ni wahalifu ambao ni wahalifu wa hali ya juu. We are going to deploy in this county special forces, elite units of the National Police Service and other national security organs here in Tana River. We are going to deploy the special forces, special units who are specially trained and equipped to deal with serious crimes, including terrorism and banditry.
Well, and still on matters security, one person has been killed and several homes torched in Salama, Lamu County by non-people said to be Al-Shabaab militants. According to the residents in the county, well, the militants made away with goats, grains, among other foodstuffs. The residents now want the government to swing to action and restore peace in the county as they now live in fear without knowing what tomorrow holds for them.
Kwa nyumba nilikuwa nimeinuka na ule mtoto wangu mdogo, nikaacha wale wengine wakiwa wamelala. Wakati waliniona, waliniambia nitoke nje na nikae chini na nisiongee kitu. Mimi nikatoka nje na nikakaa chini. Hivyo nimekaa, mtoto hakuwa na nguo, nikarudi kuchukua kitambaa nimfunike, lakini wakaniambia nisiingie kwa nyumba tena. Mimi kukaa kidogo nikakuta wamekuja na huyo mzee mwenye wamemchinjia hapa nje. Naye wakaanza kumuuliza maswali, na akiwajibu wakamuuliza, "Mbona ulikuwa umetuambia hapa kuna mwanaume na hakuna mwanaume?" Sasa wakati walimchinja wakamaliza, ndio sasa wakaniambia wao huku watakuwa wanachinja watu kwa sababu wanataka kulipiza kisasi, kwa sababu watu wao wameuliwa wengi sana na wataacha kuchinja wanaume. Na kama tunataka kuishi hapa tuwe Waislamu tusilimu.
Hii kitu tunauliza serikali mtusaidie, manake hiki tumekuwa ikirudiwa. Kila wakati tunaambiwa kuna usalama, tukirudi tunakuja wanaume wetu wanauawa. Wanaume wetu wanauawa. Tutazidi kuuawa mpaka lini jamani serikali? Mtusaidie manake haya maji yamezidi unga. Huu si ugali tena. Haya ni maji yamezidi unga na imekuwa uji. Sasa serikali mtusaidie, mtupe hata usalama anga na usalama wenyewe huo wa kweli. Si mnatuambia usalama upo. Tukikaa kwa nyumba watu ni hawa, tunauawa. Tunauawa kabisa. Wanaume wetu wanauawa. Mara mnaambiwa msilimu. Hii ni nini kweli jamani serikali? Mtusaidie, mtuletee hata angaa, hata kama ni hao mbwa wakipita wanafuatwa, tupate kujua ni adui ni nani anaweza kutumaliza.
Ukiangalia ndugu yetu hapa venye kitendo alichofanyia usiku wa leo ni kitendo ambacho hakiridhishi. Ni kitendo hata wewe mwenyewe ukiangalia afadhali umbwa kuliko hao ambao tunasema na wanadamu na sio wanadamu. Ukiangalia ile mambo yanatendeka ni mambo ambayo hata kwa Mwenyezi Mungu haifai kabisa. Mara ya kwanza kuchinjwa, mara ya pili kuchinjwa, mara tatu kuchinjwa. Hasa imekuwa ni kitu imeenda fluently. Hasa paka watu wanaanza kujiuliza maswali na tunaambiwa kwa security iko. Sisi hatuoni security. Kwa maana sasa ikiwa watu wanachinjwa na kufanywa mambo kama haya, security iko wapi?
Well, and now crossing over to the northeastern part, or rather to Baringo and Elgeyo Marakwet counties, following the numerous cattle theft that have left many dead in Elgeyo Marakwet, Baringo and West Pokot counties. Leaders from the three counties have developed a framework that will ensure residents affected by the attacks are well catered for by the county government. The proposal will be presented in the county assemblies for approval. The leaders have called on other stakeholders to join hands and ensure they put an end to the numerous attacks that have led to destruction of properties and displacement of the county residents.
And this directorate is here today with the partners, with around 2-3 partners who've supported us in coming up with this framework. We cannot operate and even have peace building processes without having a framework as a county which will guide the directorate in how it runs its operations. So we've been here for the last 2 days, this is the third and the last day, to have the policy is ready and I'll be presenting to the cabinet. And also the bill is in the process of being developed, which will be presented to the Assembly for consideration. As development actors in this space, we work with different groups in the community, including the herders in the grazing fields, to try and address grievances around resource sharing and climate-induced migration that is interfering with the local resource governance mechanisms. Partly, we also support the policy processes, and that explains our partnership with Elgeyo Marakwet towards institutionalizing and strengthening the peace frameworks and giving the desired energy and zeal to revitalize the local peace structures.
Well, we have had a drought of insecurity and banditry and all that. We are doing this and so that we have linkages with other counties. There are counties in the frontier counties that have this similar problem. So this bill and this policy will enable us to link up with those for purposes of integrating into one unit. A good example is the Peace Actors Forum. We are saying we have Peace Actors Forum. It will be an opportunity for us to lobby for resources and share. The county can give something, the national government and the non-state actors will be able to assist us.
Now on matters Education Principal Secretary Belio Kipsang has called on teachers to adequately prepare for their students, or rather to adequately prepare their students so as to ensure national exams are properly conducted. Kipsang has noted that they are set to deploy enough security personnel to ensure there is no disruption during this year's national exams. The PS has also called on head teachers and exam supervisors to put necessary measures in place in preparation for the El Nino rains. While addressing the school unrests, Kipsang has stressed that any student found participating in such indiscipline cases will be dealt with.
As we move towards examinations, as we exceed 844 in our primary schools, that is an opportunity for us to deal with this challenge of trust deficit of us as teachers. I feel painful as one of you that we have to do all these things to secure the examinations. We don't need to do them. We don't need to do that. We just need to build adequate trust on ourselves, and it starts with us. It starts with us. So that we are sure that we are doing an examination at 11 o'clock. We don't see it in social media at 9. That it is going around in WhatsApp groups. If this was to cease, that we just wake up, we do the exam in the morning, there is one at 11, we open it at 11, we do it, and that is able to be sustained, then we shall all celebrate that as teachers. We have discussed it with the regional commissioner, and we have agreed that we are going to map our region so that we know which are those regions which can easily be cut off by flooding, and if there was rain that morning, how do we deal with it, in making sure that examination reach our children, how do we make sure that our invigilators are able to bring to school. So these are things which we need to look at so that our children will be able to do this examination.
Well, and doctors in the North Rift region now want their employers to ensure there is conducive working environment and improve their welfare so as to help reduce cases of exposing medics to diseases and other risky issues, or rather issues affecting medics. Speaking in a meeting with medics, or rather doctors, Dr. Florencia Koech has noted that depression among doctors is on the rise as most of them are not well taken care of.
Most often we just sit on a normal chair. It's supposed to be an orthopedic chair with a back support. Specifications is must have a back support with a swivel. You know, you're able to swivel side to side instead of turning your back. And the height of that table you're sitting on, the type of computer you're using, there's a way you're supposed to sit with the back supported, the deck straight, and also protecting your eyes. The glare on the computer also damages eyes. So there are very many things that we need to sort out in most offices.
Taking those 3 seconds to either kneel or to either stretch your feet, it goes a long way in trying to make sure that your bones are right. And it's also something that I've learned today, which I didn't know. So I think I want to thank Top Hill Hospital for this kind of training, and also trying to broaden the situations that happens at our workplaces.
Really like to reiterate the importance of various specialties that we have at at Top Hill Hospital in relation to how they can impact the performance of various employees in those corporations. A healthy employee is a productive employee, so we cannot reiterate much.
And crossing over to Kisii County, the County Governor Simba Arati has distributed 106 wheelchairs to selected people living with disabilities, highlighting his government's commitment to their well-being through various initiatives such as Simba Shelter, bursaries, scholarships, and hospital insurance. People living with disabilities in the county will also enjoy 30% inclusion in government programs, access to credit funds, and health care support.
In this regard, the county government of Kisii is ready to work with partners such as the Walkabout Foundation to help alleviate the suffering faced by persons with mobility challenges and other forms of disability. This can be further enhanced by enabling the PWDs to engage in income-generating activities for self-sufficiency. Indeed, the agenda to mainstream the empowerment of vulnerable groups and persons with disabilities through a deliberate economic and social system is invested in Pillar 4 of the county transformative agenda. Here we seek to run a program such as timber shelter scheme, county bursary and scholarship program, hospital insurance for the indigents, person and various health interventions for vulnerable groups such as PWDs. We're also keen on implementing the 30% rule in considering PWDs in government programs. And I want to insist here is that, until a day that we meet, that's the time I face the reality of the people living with disabilities. Again, I want to reiterate that yes, even in tendering process, because it's provided, we have 40 million for credit fund. I think my team here, you will be able to make sure these people, most of those ones who are interested, even those ones who don't have money, we can, again, as long as they are properly oriented on how they're going to use that money, they can do business.
And in Embu County, Uraia Trust Organization has called on those promoting retrogressive cultures that underplay the role of girls and women in the country to stop advancing their agenda. Led by Jen Waroga, the organization says that women have not been given enough leadership roles and it's time to fully implement the 2/3 gender rule.
Wameita washikandau tofauti ambao wanataka kushirikiana nao kupanga mikakati ya kupatia jamii uhamasisho.
Tunazungumzia mambo ya wanawake, tujue wanawake ni watu wanakuwa kutoka kwa wasichana ama ngaos, na wakati tunazungumzia masuala ya wanawake lazima sana tuangazie masuala ya watoto, hasa watoto ambao ni wasichana, ili ndio wale ndio watakuwa kuwa viongozi wa wanawake wa kesho.
Leo tumebahatika hapa Embu kama kina mama kupata mpango unaoongozwa na Uraia Trust na CBO ya hapa Embu ili kuweza kujadili mambo ya kina mama na uongozi hapa Embu. Kwa kweli kwa muda mrefu hapa Embu na nchini Kenya vita vimekuwa vikali sana vya kuweza kuongeza wanamama ama kina mama wale ambao wanawania viti vya kisiasa. Hatujaweza kuwafikia viwango vingi vya kina mama katika uongozi.
Now on matters conserving the environment, the Kenya Forest Service has begun the implementation of the Plantation Establishment and Livelihood Improvement Scheme, an initiative aimed at rehabilitating degraded natural forest areas. Speaking in Nakuru County, Deputy Chief Conservator of Forest Beatrice Mbula has called on fast-tracking of renewal of participatory management plans for community forest association and help boost forest conservation efforts across the country.
Today, we see that KFS and the community living adjacent to the forest are complying with the law by having had their PFMPs launched and signing the forest management agreements. Within the plan, we see how the forest is zoned, where the communities can do pelis, for example, that is cultivation together with the tree planting, so that they get some to get some food for food security, and at the same time KFS benefits from the growing of trees. We have found this method to be very efficient because the trees really, the survival rates of the tree is very high. We have zones for conservation, and those are the important water towers in this area. We have zones also where the communities can do ecotourism to also improve their livelihoods. This is going to bring about sustainable management of the forest. And you know how important it is at this time when we are experiencing a lot of issues from climate change, lots of drought, lots of rain. The water tower is going to ensure that most of the rain that falls will be absorbed into the ground and will be released slowly throughout the year. Otherwise, without the forest, the rains will fall and all the water will go off as runoff and go down to cause havoc as floods.
Religious leaders under the Church Clergy Association of Kenya has condemned the ruling by the Supreme Court that reaffirmed the right of the LGBTQ+ communities to associate, terming it as a drawback to the country's beliefs and cultures. The clergy have also addressed the high cost of living and tax increase by the government.
The nation of Kenya allow the external forces to force it to be able to register an organization that is going to be able to destroy the future of our nation, the life of our children, and the morality of this land. Because we know and we understand that even from our African culture, homosexuality is something that is not allowed. And sometimes we allow this thing to come in. Tomorrow, because this is just the beginning, tomorrow we shall have other different kind of groups to begin joining together and forming organization.
We are appealing to the judges to come back to their senses and understand that allowing these persons to associate and propagate their agenda against the Constitution and the laws of our land has far-reaching consequences. Already, we are seeing our young children in primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions engaging in these ungodly activities to the detriment of our generation. We also wish to address the issue of the registration of churches. Firstly, we acknowledge the efforts by the government in weeding out fake pastors. That one we acknowledge. We know there are some excesses to be checked. However, we are apprehensive that the recent deregistration of churches was not in accordance to the rules of natural justice. In our capacity, we wish to advise the Office of the Registrar of Societies as follows. The registration of a church or churches should be the last resort. When to deregister a church without giving them a fair hearing,
Well, the World Kickboxing Federation of Kenya President Japheth Yahuma Adongo will launch the eagerly awaited Kenya Extreme Combat Sports Federation in Nakuru on Saturday, 23rd September. The World Kickboxing Federation of Kenya has confirmed that the particular ceremony will be staged at the Menengai Social Hall during the Nakuru County Kenya Extreme Combat Sports Federation seminar. Cynthia Nanjala caught up with the WKF Kenya President Japheth Adongo, alias Takid Master, and filed the following report.
The World Kickboxing Federation of Kenya President Japheth Adongo is set to officially launch an umbrella body of the federation known as Kenya Extreme Combat Sports Federation. We caught up with the WKF president as he prepares to launch the localized federation on September 23rd in Nakuru. Japheth Adongo, popularly known as Takid Master, has revealed that there is no difference in functions between the two organizations, but will allow easier access and recognition of talent.
There's a way that we got that extreme word from the styles that we have in this World Kickboxing Federation body. So we have Muay Thai, we have kickboxing, you have Sanda, we have wushu, we have extreme combat sports. Extreme combat means it's just a tournament that you get people fighting, like these are taekwondoists, these are karateka, these are kickboxer, these are boxer, then they fight in the same ring, something like that. That's the meaning of extreme. So because I have all these collections of all different kinds of martial art styles, I decided to register it as extreme combat sports. The reason is that while we went to the registrar, we found out that we couldn't have registered our federation under the world. The world is something international, but because it's local, we had to use the word Kenya first. So that's why I came up with Kenya Extreme Combat Sports Federation.
The scheduled seminar will be second of a kind on WKF Kenya 2023 calendar to be staged in the Flamingo city of Nakuru. Takid Master has also revealed the reason why the launch will be held in the county, which he described as the hub of kickboxing, martial arts and boxing events.
Not every time that every sportsman who come and represent our country should just be coming from the capital city of Nairobi. No, that's not the way to go. And that's why we lose a lot. Because you see, if we get to football, we have Wanyama, we have the Oliech, we have they were all in Nairobi secondary schools. And remember, we have Turgem, we have different schools, I don't know, St. Ward from Kakamega, who are also doing well. So it's the same to kickboxing. I should be going to grassroots. I should be going to every county so that I can get all these good players. And that's why I decided that instead of launching it, or instead of having every event in the city of Nairobi, we should also be taking it to different places. We can even take some things to even Turkana. It doesn't matter.
The federation is also planning on selecting a national team that will be representing Kenya in international events. A goal, Takid says, can be achieved if referees of various mixed martial arts receive proper training and for the athletes to also compete locally and be sensitized on the rules and regulations.
Champs, and they're the future of this country, our future ambassadors who can also represent us in all these fights. Because remember, without any exposure or without taking it to the grassroots to get all those best players, there's no way we can make it internationally, trust me.
The government recently, through the Ministry of Sports, launched the Talanta Hela initiative that is in line with the government's bottom-up economic transformation agenda and aims to identify, recruit, nurture, market and monetize talent. The WKF president has urged stakeholders to support all sporting fields by ensuring there are arenas in every stadium to facilitate smooth training.
But what I would tell him is that we are waiting for these stadiums. I saw the pictures yesterday, everything, that's a picture, but now I want it in real. And I'm sure that with the Talanta Hela, what I would advise the government is that they should also build some different stations for, if it's boxers, they get their own place. If it's kickboxers, they get their own place. The volleyballers, everybody gets their own place. That would be good for us.
As the World Kickboxing Federation of Kenya prepares to launch its umbrella body, Kenya Extreme Combat Sports, on Saturday, Takid can only call for stakeholders and well-wishers to come in and support the young but growing federation.
Who always come in to support us, people like you, because I do say that even medias are also our sponsors, because for you to come here, this publicity, it's not easy. So it's one of the sponsorship. I do tell people that sponsorship doesn't mean cash award. You can bring us a ring, you can bring us some gloves, you can even come and interview me. That's publicity.
Cynthia Nanjala reporting for EBN Prime Edition.
Well, many thanks, Cynthia Nanjala, for that specific report right there. Well, that marks the end of EBN Prime Edition tonight. Many thanks for tuning in. Until next time, do enjoy your night.